as eager as his government to get over the line, to get to this Brexit 2.0, the future relationship from this moment on. You heard Juncker. He was very clear about this. We're starting November 1st. Let's get on with it. And the good news for them is that there has been really enough goodwill on both sides and movement concessions that were quite balanced, that this creates a kind of the atmospheric mood music for a much more constructive Brexit 2.0, with many question marks, obviously, as we just heard. But I think heads of states in Brussels will be relieved and will want to go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, Philip, because you are British, you have family in the UK. How are people you've been speaking with been saying, just as a on a humane level, about this whole situation that has dragged on and gone on for 3 years now?
I think basically people are pretty fed up with it. I think most people that I know would just like it to be over. There are two things. There's that one, the fact that it's gone on far longer than anybody ever imagined that it would do, and there's this feeling of frustration that, why over 3 years later have we not managed to go one way or the other, either get Brexit done or stay in the European Union. And the second aspect is that it's caused such a rift between different people that quite often the subject of Brexit is avoided completely. I'll give you an example. I was in the UK in August for a reunion of school friends, if you can believe that. And just before the party started, I was talking to the organisers, and they were saying, well, we think this person might have voted in favour, we think that person might have voted against, we're not sure, but we will make sure that we don't talk about Brexit during our gathering because we don't want it to descend into an argument or a slanging match between those in favour and those against. And it has caused rifts in families, between friends. And the third point is that it's so long in coming. There's so much uncertainty amongst business leaders, farmers, people working in shops and offices all over the country about what exactly is going to happen, that the anxiety level is going up a notch all the time, and many people are seeking medical help because they can't stand it anymore, and they are worried about their future, and they're anxious about what's going to happen when Brexit happens, or if it doesn't happen, and what sort of Brexit there's going to be, and will they make ends meet? Will they be able to have a decent wage? Will they still have a job at the end of it all? So there's been a marked increase in people suffering from Brexit burnout, if you like.
More questions than answers. Want to go back to Calypso Nicolaitis at Oxford University. Now, you said that there's been goodwill on both sides, but let's be honest here. It doesn't look too good for Boris Johnson, with the DUP already saying they're not going to back this deal in the House of Commons on Saturday. So then we're going around and round in circles, essentially.
Philip just said he was British and kind of testified to what happens in the atmospherics of this country. But I've just become British in addition to being French and Greek. And I perhaps have a kind of sensitivity for perhaps something deeper than the sound and fury that we hear, which is that both among citizens, but also in the Parliament, in Westminster, there is a profound ambivalence. Most people are not so polarized. They kind of understand both sides. In their identity, when they protest, they're very strong. They understand that you need to cooperate with Europe on the Leave side. And on the Remain side, they understand that some of their compatriots want control. So I believe in negotiation pedagogy. And I hope that somehow the body politics of the UK will come together. And it's not impossible. There might be a condition for a second referendum that will bring in some of the Labour MPs. There might be bits and pieces coming, but really this country has undergone a fascinating firework of democratic debate, and we should recognize this. Call me a nouveau citizen, a bit naive or too proud for my new country, but I don't think we should belittle the amazing democratic debate, even if confrontational, that has happened in Britain in the last 3 years.